Hi, welcome back to Nethalas Into the Midnight Throne. This is my session 6 of my solo playthrough with Athena, who is a weapon master and gravecaller. She has 2 raised skeletons with her. And in the last episode, we have defeated 3 rod walkers in this room. And this time round, she will venture out from this room here. If you can see, it's a dark gray room. And she will attempt to explore further parts of Nethalas through this door which she has broken down, and it has been trapped. So that has been activated. She has cleared the door, and it's now time to unveil the next room. We will roll a d100 to see if we get a door or corridor. Right, so let's go. We have a 15, so that's a corridor over here. So let us draw the corridor. All right, so here we have it. We have another corridor. There are 2 more doors that is presented here in this corridor. It should be interesting. That means more rooms, more corridors coming up from here. Over here, I can roll for corridor description as well, so might as well let's roll the d20. We have 5. The passage is partially blocked by a cave-in, with rubble and debris scattered across the floor. Dim light filters through cracks in the ceiling. So first of all, let's roll for our tension die. This is not a room, so we do not need to make a layer check. So let's see, our tension die is at which die right now? Okay, my tension die is my d8, so I will roll a d8 to see if there is tension created. A 7, so that's fine. I passed the tension check. And let's roll for an encounter next, a d20. See if I have an encounter. So if I roll a 15 and above, it means there is a encounter. That's a 4. So there is no encounter. So if there's no encounter, I will roll on the events table. So let me record it down. I've got a 34. Altar of Sacrifice. Koyas. This altar is dedicated to the Valorian god of magic. Sacrifice 1 health to gain +5 max, either for the next d10 plus 2 rooms or corridors. Sounds great. Do I want this? +5 max either for the next d10 plus 2. That's easily quite a good number of rooms. Assuming that is 50%, I'll get at least I will get at least 3 rooms for a minimum for 1 health sacrifice to gain 5 either max. Let's see if my masteries allow me to give me more options with either. So I'm at level 1 right now, so I'm on tier 1. Weapon Master doesn't have magic. At this point, it's just a melee attack check for an evasive strike. And my Gravecaller allows me to do a raised skeleton, which I already have. I don't need that, so I don't think I'm going to sacrifice 1 health because that is so crucial. So I'm going to give it a pass. I will not sacrifice 1 health for 5 either. So I will move along. So let's try the one that is directly in front of me. So let's do some door checks. So far so good. I think she is doing well. D20, determine the door is locked or not. I roll 12, so +12 means it's locked. Fine, it's locked. And I will have to determine the lock's difficulty by rolling on a random difficulty table, which I have it here. Let's roll a d8. Okay, it's a 2. That's great. It's effortless, so it's modifier of plus 20. This is a plus 20 modifier. So it's locked. Door. Locks. Locked. Plus 20. Easy. Effortless, in fact. And then after and only after you have decided to open the lock, you must see if it's trapped by rolling a d10. So I will open that door. I'll roll d10. Over here. So it's an 8. The result of 7 or higher means that it's indeed trapped. So yes, it's trapped. I'm going to put it down here. Perform a perception check to see if I detect it. I don't have thievery tools. Okay, let's do a perception check. My perception is at a 60, so let me roll a die. Let me roll and see if I can perceive the trap before I activate it. Okay, I roll an 80. My goodness. My goodness, this is so poor. I've rolled an 80. I failed perception check. Failed. And I have triggered it while attempting to open it. So I will roll on the traps table, which is over here. I've triggered the trap. It's bad news. Let's see how Athena does in these. I roll an 8. So that's a ball of fire fills the room, dealing 2d fire damage to all characters. That is bad. Am I able to dodge it? Skill check to avoid. So can I avoid that? So I don't perform any skill check. I will take the damage. So I will have to take that damage. I can't avoid that. I can't avoid it, isn't it? This is what it says. So that's bad. I will roll on a d6 and see how much damage the fireball does to my characters. I roll 5. I roll 2. My goodness. So 2d6 fire damage. So I roll 5 and I roll 5. That's a 10. And I will convert this damage to over the damage table. It says that's a 4. So I deal 4 damage to all characters. Bad. It's bad. It's bad. My skeletons are health of 10. So they have 10 health. Do they regenerate? I think after every round they do. My skeletons are at 6 health. And Athena is at 19 minus 4. That's 15. 15 out of 19 toughness. Okay, so that's the conclusion for this trap. I'm done. So I will attempt to break down the door. I will have to try to break it down, so I'll roll a d100 and do an athletics check to see if I break it down. Let's see if I have better luck this time. I roll a 32. My athletics would be 40, so that's a pass. So that means the door is broken. And I need to do a tension check for creating a noise. Tension check, I'm at tension die d8. So let's roll. I roll 3, that's a pass. Okay, now let's roll for another room or corridor. Back here. D100. 83, that should be a room. So we're here. This is the one. Firstly, I will do a layer check. As usual, nothing new. I am at D10, so I'll roll on my D10 to determine if it is an overseer. Not so fast, not so fast. If I do get a downgrade for my die, let's go. I roll 4, that's okay, that's no. Nope. And next, I'll do a tension check. My D8. D8 tension check. I roll 5, that's a pass. And let's roll for an encounter. I'll roll D20. It's a 13. If it's a 10 plus means you've encountered some sort of enemy. Okay, so we have an encounter. Yes, and let's determine which encounter is that going to be. Surprise, surprise. Combat encounters table. I will roll on my d6. It's a 4, that's combat encounter table B. Let's see. Alright, now it's time for d20. Who is the lucky one? Am I the lucky one? It's a 5. Pyreborn. Pyreborn. The Pyroborn rises as a blazing fire elemental, its form an ever-shifting dance of flames emitting a searing glow. With smoldering eyes and unearthly grace, it leaves behind a wake of scorching devastation, summoned by ancient rituals from the plane of fire. These creatures were commonly used as guardians by the ancient Valorians, unleashing torrents of fire. It engulfs enemies in all-consuming flames and summoned firestorms, ensuring nothing but complete devastation. Sounds horrid, it's out to kill me. And coincidentally, my trap earlier was a fireball. So now I meet Pyreborn in this chamber, in this octagon, and it's fire too. So this is an elemental. And there's one of them, awareness 40, endurance 40, health 4. It's a humanoid. Weak spot is the head. No armor, combat skill 40, magic resistance 30. Restored by fire damage, vulnerable to water damage. So I think it's pretty decent. The stats are pretty okay. 4 health, 4 combat skill. It's an elemental. I believe there is any overseer influence for... Nope. Okay, fortunately. There is a penetrating 1, which means it ignores any armor that is value 1, protection 1. So my armor is at protection 2, so that's fine. And I don't use magic damage, so that's fine. It's a corrupting, which means I will suffer, I believe, a d6 die roll for damage if there is a 3 plus damage done by any enemies, which is fine. I think we are ready to go. So first of all, let's roll for surprise. I think I've seen someone playing the game and always starts with a surprise. So I wonder if that is the usual sequence of play where I roll for surprise and then followed by initiative. I think that makes sense. This kind of makes sense, which I have not done so. So let's check out my rules. It says over here, initiative and surprise. When you are faced with an opponent and combat is clearly taking place, you must determine who gets to strike first. This is done by pitching your perception versus your target's awareness in an opposed check known as the initiative check. Okay, so I will roll. Wait, this is talking about initiative. So alternatively, and only if your opponent hasn't surprised you, okay, you can attempt to surprise them before combat. This is done by comparing your stealth against your opponent's awareness in an opposed check. So if I win, if I manage to sneak up to the Pyreborn, I will have a plus 20 in my first attack. And unfortunately, if I have followers, my stealth is reduced by 10 for each follower. So I don't think that makes sense for me. I have 2 skeletons with me, and I have a stealth of 25. So that means I have to roll a 25 minus 20, which is a 5, to pass stealth, which is really tough. So I'm going to skip the surprise and I'm going to go straight to perception versus awareness in that form of an opposed check for initiative. Okay, let's go. So same things. I'm always learning something new and refining the rules as I play along, which is great. So my perception is at 60, which is great. So I'm going to roll first. I roll a 90. How can that be? That's crazy, right? Anyway, this determines who goes first, so that's fine. I roll a 90. Athena rolls 90 versus... Let's have a look at the Pyreborn's roll. So he will roll, or it will roll, against a... Let me see, where is it? Let me bookmark the Pyre. It's a fire elemental. Okay, it has to roll within lower than 40 to succeed. So 74. Interesting. This is a Pyreborn. I'm going to put it here with a P. So that means I have rolled above. It has also rolled above. So in this case, what this means is if both rolls are above our skill scores, our relevant skill scores, the higher number will win the outcome. Here we are. We have over here a battle map that I've created, a battle chart. So it helps me to keep track of players' turns, especially when it's more than 1v1 combat encounter. So in this case, I have Athena, 2 skeletons versus a Pyreborn. Okay, so Athena wins initiative. She will start first, followed by her 2 other skeletons. Okay, so let's do a combat skill check to see if she strikes the fire elemental. It's 73. That's a pass. Okay, Athena. And let's see Pyroborn how it does. The 53, so that's a fail. So Athena strikes. So next I will roll the hit location spot as for all successful attacks. So I will roll on the hit location. It's a 9. So a 9 would be the abdomen. So it hits the abdomen. I'm gonna put it here and let's roll for the damage. Okay, there's no armor for elemental, so I'm gonna roll the attack. Gonna roll for the damage. The 5 is great. I have a D. My damage die is actually a 1d6 plus a 1d4, so I got a 5. I will roll on my d4. That's a 4, fantastic. So I have a total of 9. That gives me 3 damage dealt to the fire elemental. Pyreborn is at 4 minus 3 equals to 1 life left, 1 health. That's the first turn. Now next turn, let's see if I should give my skeletons a chance to attack him. But if I do let my skeletons attack him, it will be too easy. Let's give the Fireborn a chance to hit me. So let's roll for a... I'm going to leave my skeletons out of the picture for now. So I'm going to just roll for a D100 and see what it does. It's a 52. It's too high for its combat skills still. I don't think it's not great. Let's see Athena defense or not. Rolls a 69. Okay, 69. So that's a successful defense. I'm going to roll on the defense table and see what happens. Okay. An 8. You press your advantage, reducing your opponent's next defensive roll by minus 20. Okay. This is in case if it managed to get into a defense. So I will go on to my skeleton's turn. Okay, skeleton 1. Let's see. Do the combat roll. Skeleton 1, it has to roll a 40, a below 40 to have a successful strike. Whoa, this is 100. Did I just roll 100? Okay. Skeleton 1 rolls 100. Is that considered a fumble? Should this be considered the critical fumble? If I roll doubles, so this is a double. Is this considered a double? I think a critical fumble. Oh, so let's take it as a critical fumble. I think we have a critical fumble here. So automatically, if I roll a critical fumble or critical strike, that will be the result, regardless of the enemy's roll. So I will roll on the fumbles table, which is kind of not great, but it's interesting. So let's roll on my d10 to see what skeleton 1 does. A 3. So that means you hurl your weapon with such strength that it smashes against the stone, breaking in half. You must repair it before you can weld it again. If you're not welding a weapon, your next attack suffers a minus 20. So I believe the skeletons have a slashing damage, the d6 slashing damage from likely a sword or something like that. So it loses, so it needs to repair its weapon. So it's broken. Okay, that's terrible. So, I do have to roll, I think. Let me see if I roll for Pyreborn. Let's see how it works out. Pyreborn rolls a 33. That's a critical strike, my god. Oh, so what do we do in this case? What do we do in this case? My goodness, it's a critical strike. And you had a critical fumble, and then he rolls a critical strike. So which one will take precedence? I think let's use some common sense. Okay. So I do have a fumble which I've rolled. Weapon is damaged. I don't know how to repair this weapon. That's number 1. It's interesting to see how we resolve this. It's the 33. So it's a critical strike, which means to say the Pyreborn will roll a d6 and double damage. If that is correct, we double the damage for critical strikes. Okay. Let's see. It has a d6, so I will roll. It's a 2. Amber Strike, magical. The Pyroborn extends a tendril of flames to a target, dealing d6 fire damage on a hit. Additionally, the target must succeed on a dodge check to avoid receiving the burning condition. Right. Okay, I think we will just resolve both a fumble and a critical strike, and I believe that should be able to work out to something. Okay, so a d6 fire damage, so I will roll 2d6. Okay, so the first one will be 4, the second roll will be 1, so a total of 5. That should mean there is a 3 damage being done. Okay, that sounds like a particular overseer effect that we need to resolve. So if I roll a 3, that would mean, well, the creature doesn't have sanity. Does it have sanity? It doesn't have sanity. So what should I do? Do I go on to resolve through its endurance? Well. So I need to understand, what does -1 sanity mean to the skeleton? Does it take 1 health? Let me check on sanity again. Okay, companions are not affected by sanity rules. Thank you for putting that down. So there's no corrupting, that's fine. And I will resolve the damage. So I think my skeleton may be dead. Let's see. 6 health, so there will be a -3. That will be a 3. It has a weapon damaged. It must repair its weapon. So I'm not sure how's that gonna work out, but I don't care because it's just a raised dead. I could always raise it up again. It's nothing important. It's just there to help me to deal damage or to take damage. Right, so let's move on. I think it's time to move on to skeleton number 2. So skeleton number 2 takes a initiative in terms of striking it. Let's see if we can strike this Pyreborn. It's just one life death. I think it's not that tough to kill it within one round. So I've got a 1. Okay, that's a really good score. That's 1. That's really bad score. I think we are in deep trouble. Let's roll for the Pyreborn. It rolls at 85. 85 for Pyreborn. So I am within my score check, my skill check, which means I passed. Pyreborn rolls above, so I will hit the Pyreborn. Skeleton 2 attacks Pyreborn successfully. Okay, let's determine its hit location by rolling a d20. The 15, that would be its left arm. And let's roll for the damage. I roll a d6, slashing damage. It's a 6. Wonderful roll. Really good. So a 6 would be 2 damage dealt. In this case, Pyreborn, we have 1 life left, minus 2 damage. That would be a -1. So Pyreborn is dead. Death to the Pyreborn. So it is done. It's killed. And my skeletons are going to recover in a matter of time. I don't think I want to raise one more skeleton. I think 2 is quite enough to handle. I don't want to be rolling for a 3rd skeleton. That's fine at this stage. So I will reconcile this combat encounter and declare it as concluded. And I will gain 50 XP. I do have to gain my corridors, 1 XP. Oh, but breaking over the corridors, 10 XP. Did I miss out anything? No, that's fine. I have 60 XP, so that's okay. And let me see if I can roll for some loots, some wonderful spoils from this fire elemental that is no more. Okay, so it says roll on the spoils table. Over there. Root and spoil. So I roll a d6. It's a 1. My god. This is a poor roll. Mundane items. So under mundane items, I will roll a d100 to see where I end up. Let's see. There's still one more chance. A 32. A belt lamp. Oh, fantastic. I need this. A belt lamp. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful surprise. So the belt lamp costs 1,500 coins. Its weight is normal. Can be attached to a belt, taking 1 of the slots. It requires lamp oil. I don't have lamp oil. It's fuel. Okay, so, well, we'll just keep this. Okay, so I gain a belt lamp. And I think I am good. Not yet. I will roll for some scavenging. Okay, this is always exciting. We will end up getting some crafting supplies and whatnot. So I hope I can roll. If I roll a 20, I can have another chance of getting some spoils. But if not, then probably I'll get some coins or some cooking supplies or crafting supplies or even a loose sanity. So let's try d20. Come on, a 9. You find d4 crafting supplies again. Okay, I rolled 2, so I gain 2 crafting supplies. Okay, so I've got all my items in. Let me update my character sheet. 23 crafting supplies. I have a it's normal, so I have a belt lamp. Where should I put these? I'm gonna just put it here. I can't use it anyway for now. And okay, I'm good at these. So I need to roll for integrity. I think I've missed it out the last session, but that's okay. I'm gonna roll and see where that takes me in terms of the state of my armor, my braces. So let's roll a d6. A 3, that's a pass, so that's good, that's cool. I don't have to downgrade the die. I can still use my braces. They're all good. Okay, so let me put in the experience points. I'll add in another 60 points, which gives me a 480 XP at this point at level 1. So I will need 1,000 to upgrade to level 2, and before I access the tier 2 masteries. And at this point, do my companions, do they recover from the damage? I think they do. Let me just do a quick refresh and see if my skeletons recover from this. I think they do. It doesn't say anything. No, it doesn't say that it will recover. I think I got the rule somewhere that says the companions or the minions can recover. It doesn't say explicitly here. I don't know where's the rule. I can't find it. Okay, it doesn't really say that it recovers, but that's fine. I will just raise. I will just take it as a raise one more skeleton, and I'll just abandon this guy. Can I just abandon one of my skeletons here? And I'll just raise it out of. I'll just spend 5 either, and I'll just raise it out from the Pyreborn's body. Would that work? Let me take a look at the masteries again. Okay, so it says. Okay, so I can raise it up from a humanoid or beast. It costs 5 ether. Okay, so I'm going to abandon this guy. I'm going to get another 10. Okay, this will be the final. I will also need to roll for my recovery for Athena later on. So I will spend 5 either. Either kind of restores itself after every room that I go to. So it's at 8. I spend 5, so that's 8. That's fair. So if I go to another room after this, my Ether will be back to 13. So that's okay. Just gonna leave it there. And so my other skeleton is at 8. It's at 6 health. Now I'm gonna roll for Athena's recovery. I'm gonna roll a d4 for toughness recovery. A 2, so that's not too bad. I am back at 17 over 19, which is great. So let me update this. All right, I'm set at 17 toughness. My health is full. My Ether is 8 out of 13. Sanity is a 6 out of 11, which is great. Okay, so I'm going to leave it here. Right, and so this would be gone. Okay, so I am done with this room that I have, and I will move on to venture to other rooms. Okay, and that will be for today's session. Thank you very much. Cheers.